to set the performance. It includes outcomes achieved or accomplished through contribution of individuals or teams to the organization's strategies goals. So in order to achieve our performance, first we have to maintain some goals. And performance management is concerned with the competencies of the managed that are relevant to his or her performance. It is both male and female performance, it gives the output. Doing focuses on the manage activities that are variably effective at different levels in the organization that affect performance of other roles, dependent or independent. We have dependent and independent criteria which affects the performance of the management. In general, we can say that performance is what the managers actually achieve. The output what we get or the task output what we get is the performance or the motto of the task. Performance in a role refers to the extent to which the managers achieves the performance for which the role is created. First, we have to create a role. For that role itself, we have to achieve the performance. So we will be seeing the management means what are the activities we have to do in order to achieve our performance. This is the framework of understanding the role of performance. So we should have some input in order to achieve our performance. These are the input variables. Variables are nothing but whose value will be changing depending upon the activities what we will be doing. In this framework, organization, relevant environment, role performance or objectives, stakeholder expectations, role technology and input role or vendor contribution are the inputs to the performance management. Role performance or object, stakeholders expectations. These are the inputs to the organization relevant environment. Means these are the internal operations which will be taking place by the managerial leadership or the group climate or the manager potential, competing or collaborating colleagues and the role designed for achieving this. And the output variables are the role output or the managing performance. So the complete output of the performance management depends upon the input variables and the internal process where we are considering as the throughput variables here. Competing and collaborating colleagues. So this is the main flow of how to achieve the performance management. Means in general, what are the contributions to achieve the performance management? Without the input and without the pre-processing inside, we can't achieve our goal. So performance management plays an important role in achieving the goals. Here we are studying about the role design. So we have to design the role also. Role design is fascinated by the organizing process. For achieving any throughput, first we have to organize the process in a fixed manner. There should be a flow for organizing the process and designing a role in order to provide a implementation of the achieving goal. And the leadership qualities also play an important role. The internal process is taken care by the manager leadership, which determines the behavior attributes needed by the managing. Means we are having the internal performance taken care by the managing. Leadership role of the managed and management style also gives an throughput to the output. Even the group climate, the team membership should be there in between the employees in order to achieve the goal. Basically, we go for integrated approach because until unless we have an integrated approach between the input variables and the output are to be achieved with the pre-processing steps we are taking place internally by the employees, by the manager and the leadership quality, then only we can achieve our throughput. So Armstrong and Barron defines performance management as a strategy and integrated approach in delivering sustained success to organizations by improving performance of people by developing the capabilities of teams. Just now I have said that there should be a teamwork, means between the employees or between the if we are studying about the labor, then we can say there should be an unity between the labors or between the individuals in the group who are taking place to achieve the goal. These experts considered PM as a strategy tool since it is concerned with achievement of long term organizational goals and effective functioning of organizations in its environment. Performance management affects four types of integrations, namely vertical, functional, human resource, and goals. Vertical integration. Since we are talking about integration, there should be an integration between the input variables, the internal performance of the employees or the manager or the leadership. There should be an integration according to Armstrong. So vertical integration, we study first about the vertical integration. Aligning objects at organizational, individual and team levels and integrating them for effective performance is known as the vertical integration. Means the individuals and the teams agree upon a dialogues. If we are having a group discussion, there should be an integration between all the dialogues taking place in the team members. Then after the vertical integration, we go for the functional integration. It deals with focusing several functional emerges plans, means policies. When we want to have some new policies or we want to have some strategies to be applied for the organization, then there should be a functional integration, means this functioning of the organization. When we have an integration of all this only, we can achieve the goal, the throughput. In the first flowchart, we have seen that the block diagram of the performance management. The block diagram clearly mentions that we need some input variables and some process has to be taken place in order to achieve the goals of the organization. These can be achieved only when there is an integration between the input and the process and the output. Just how we say that computer means input output. Similarly, in order to have an goal achieved, we should have the good performance to achieve the goal. So the integrations are also four level. That is a vertical integration. Just now we have seen the integration between the group or the team or the employees who are concerned with the uh, management. Then we have functional integration where we have new policies or strategies we have to plan to achieve our goal. Then we have the human resource integration. Human resource integration, this ensures effective integration different subsystems of HRM. Then again, the HRM plays an important role, that is human relationship management, resource management to achieve. So until and unless we have good HRM, then we can't achieve the functional human resource integration. Then the goal integration. First vertical, then the functional, then the human resource integration, then the goal integration. It focuses on arriving a convergence between the needs, aspirations, and goals of the managers with that of the goals and objectives of the organizations. These are the main four integrations which are required for achieving the performance management. Then we have the basic principles of effective performance management. Quality and effectiveness of PM is reality in organizations only when certain basic and fundamental principles or practices of management are followed. These include transparency. There should be a good transparency. Transparency is nothing but decisions relating to performance improvement and measurements such as planning, work, allocation, guidance, and counseling and monitoring, performance review, etc., should be effectively communicated to the managers and other members in the organization. Managers and other members in the organization, they come under the processing part of the flowchart of the performance management which we have seen in the first block. Then comes the employee development and empowerment, effective participation of employees. All the employees should have participate effectively so that the throughput will be good. Throughput is nothing but the goal can be achieved in a efficient way. Then when the employees are participating in a good way, then we have to give some rewards. Even rewarding the employees is also a good principle in the achieving the performance. Then comes the values, a fair treatment and ensuring due satisfaction to the stakeholders. There should be a fair treatment between the satisfaction of the stakeholders of the organization. Empathy and trust and treating people as human. This is also a good quality of the HRM, human resource management. Then we have the external conjunctional work environment. The management needs to create a conductive and conjunctional work culture and climate that would help people to share their experience, knowledge, and information to fulfill the management's aspirations and achieve organizational goals. Then this environment is also very much important to achieve the performance in order to achieve the work environment. Then we have the external environment, effective and external environment plays an important role to achieve the goal of the organization. Features or characteristics of effective performance management is a complex concept that encompasses different dimensions of the organization and the people. The mission, the objectives, and the goals of the organization should be well designed. First, the goal should be well designed when we are talking about the performance management. Until unless the goal is not properly achieved, there cannot be an interaction or there cannot be an integration between the different levels of the performance management integration. Just now we have seen that the performance management is having integration of four, that is vertical, functional, um, then the team, then comes the goal integration and HR integration, the integration between the employees and the managers. Until unless the integration is not good between the team members, we can't achieve a good performance. Performance planning, development, and reward system enable the managers to realize their true potential in order to contribute for organizational growth and development. This is the basic feature or characteristics of effective performance management. Then the characteristics, clarity of organizational goals, evaluation, corporation but not controlled. We should not control the employees for each and every work. Some liberty should be there for the employees so that they can express their views and their policies, which can be affecting the performance of the achieving the goal. Self-management teams. This is that itself is known as self-management teams. The management need to encourage individuals and teams for self-management of their performance. By doing this, this creates in the managers a sense of responsibility and develops a spirit to work with commitment. The commitment of each employee and evaluate his her strength also is very important in order to achieve the good performance of the goal. Then the leadership development. The manager needs to identify such of the managers who have leadership potential and apart from sincerity and honesty to ensure better and effective two-way communication between the managers and the managees. This is also an important characteristic to achieve the performance feedback. For every system, we should take a feedback. Feedback is important in order to improve our loopholes. Until unless we improve our loopholes, we cannot achieve the goal. The organization must have a foolproof feedback system of managers, individuals, teams, departments. Here we see that from managers level to individuals, then the teams, then the departments performance. All this when integrated only, we can achieve the good performance. It should be monitored continuously and generate feedback loops for better performance management. Continuous feedback should be taken so that we can clear all our loopholes or clear all our drawbacks in order to achieve a good performance. Why we are studying about good performance? Because until unless we have a good performance, we can't achieve our goal. Each and every organization or an institution or an department, they fix their plans or their scopes in between before itself in order before starting the process. Then comes the scope of performance management. The performance management should conform to broad organizational framework. Just now what we have studied all comes into this organizational framework. It should provide for managers and managees shared experience, knowledge, and vision. The encompasses all formal and informal measures and procedures adopted by organizations to increase corporate, team, and individual effectiveness. Here we are saying that corporate, effective, individual, and team effectiveness. All the feedbacks or all the outputs of each and every step are taken, considered into one teamwork, and then this gives the output for the managers or employees or for the department. The feedback of all these will be affected to the performance of the organization or the department or the company. Managers, employees should be enabled continuously to develop knowledge, skill, and capabilities. Either the managers or the employees or the teams has to be given frequent seminars or frequent technology updations so that they can improve their uh, performance, and this performance will improve the overall performance of the organization. Performance management assumes that the managers and team members share accountability for performance by jointly agreeing on common set of goals, that what they need to do and how they need to do it. They jointly implement the agreed plans and monitor outcomes. Performance management is concerned with everything that people do at work. It deals with what people do, their work and how they do it, their behavior, and what they do it, their result. That's what in the first flow chart we have seen, that the input variables are given, then the internal pre-processing is done, then the output variables are taken. Means until unless uh, the people do at work are considered at each and every teamwork, and this teamwork is taken into consideration as a group, and this group data will be considered for the final output. Now we see the process of performance management. The process of performance management is comprised of three important parts. The first part is the planning, managing, performance and development, monitoring, managing, performance and development, and annual stock take. These are the three processes which we have to consider in performance management. These occur in a specified sequence. Planning is made up of, so planning plays an important role in performance management. Planning is made at the beginning of the year, while monitoring and mentoring is continued throughout the year as the plans are executed. Stock making takes place at the end of the year. So planning and stock making plays an important role. Planning is taken at the starting of the year and stocks tracking is takes place at the end of the year. Each one of these phases requires certain concrete actions by the managers and the managees. So the managers and the managees place the pre-processing process, whereas the input is the planning and the output is the stakeholders, and the managee or the managers or the employees or the team people are the pre-processing, as we have seen the first flow chart. So these are the processing steps. These are the three important processing steps. Both these parties, manager and managee, provide appropriate inputs by keeping the whole process in perspective. This whole process takes in a continued loop. The whole process of the performance management can be approached in a different mode. Planning, review, and stock taking can happen throughout the year. More specifically, at the time of periodic review during the monitoring and mentoring phase. As such, these three phases are dynamic and continuously interactive with one another. So these three phases are very important: planning, review, and stakeholders. The plans are periodically reviewed and feasibility is tested in the context of changing events and influences that could not be adequately foreseen. Since the process involves in both the management and the managees has a practitioner character. The following flowchart exhibits performance management process in an organization. This is the flowchart which we have to keep in mind in order to know how the process takes place. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the processes. Organizational mission goals. The goals has to be fixed in the first phase, the starting phase. Then the individual role and its description, indexes and monitoring performance standards. Just now we have seen that we have to take the policies also into consideration and even the strategies, role-wise plans and expectations. These are the taken inputs from the organizational mission. Then goes for the monitoring and mentoring activity. We have to continuously monitor and we have to do the mentoring. Means just individual role or the team role, then this will be done in processing. We can see that third activity, monitoring and mentoring activity, is continuously done for the individual and for the role-wise plans and expectation. Then the output of the monitoring is the stock taking. The stock taking is again used to give the feedback. This feedback itself will improve the performance. Means it gives the um, feedback, gives the loopholes of the flow. By the feedback only, we can have change in the performance. Uh, this is the flowchart how the performance management process takes place. So it is clear that the performance management has three phases: planning phase, review phase, and the stock taking phase. The stock taking, we will capture the feedback. So this feedback is given to individuals or managers or the managers, depending upon the situation. With this feedback only, the organization will improve. The chart, we can say here that the chart exhibits that individual roles and their description indices for monitoring performance. Performance standards naturally cascade from organizational mission, goals, strategy, and operational plans. Since performance management aims to improve quality of coordination, there should be coordination. Starting, we have seen coordination is nothing but integration. We have seen 4 types of integration in the starting lecture of my program. Coordination among people in the organization, role-wise performance plans and expectations must flow from both. Means from the both end, there should be a flow. This both end flow is only taken as the stock taking, which gives the feedback. Then the organization mission, strategy, and operational plan and individual manages role contribution to his or her, it might be a male or a female in the organization, to organizational process are cardinal inputs to performance plans. The performance plans of all the managers in the organization must finally add up to the organizational goals to be achieved. So each and every organization has some goals. In order to achieve those goals, the performance management plays an important role at manager level, manages performance and develop plans and subjected to monitoring and mentoring. Without plans for task accomplishment, it is not possible. So we should have the goals fixed at the starting level itself. Until unless the goals are fixed, we cannot go for the other process. Against set goals, mentoring and development draws a direction from both development plan and requirements. Mentoring can also include briefing the manager before each training and development activity, both on the job and off the job. On the job and off the job, we can do the mentoring. Then comes the stock taking, both periodically and manual and annual attempts. We can take periodically, means monthly or quarterly or half-yearly or annual attempts to continuously assess the extent of work as well as learning opportunity that have been optimally availed by the managing. Inputs to stock taking. What are the inputs for stock taking are provided by performance plans and monitoring and mentoring records. As seen in the flowchart, we can see the input for the stock taking is the monitoring and mentoring. Stock taking also provides several inputs to future performance plays, review and task assignments. We can give some assignments. Task systems and tools are also possible through stock taking. An assessment of managers' development needs of future task and responsibility is done more realistically to stock taking. And we see some special features are present in performance management. What are those special features that affect and qualitative in achievement of organizational goals? They include continuous process, flexible, futuristic, practitionary, controlling, behavioral in content. These are the key roles which we have to focus on. We will see a few uh, features. Continuous process. Why continuous process is required? Performance management should be a continuous process and should be carried out throughout the year in its totality, that is planning, managing performance and development, monitoring, managing performance, and mentoring management, managing development, and annual stock taking. These three phases should be implemented sequentially. That is, continuous process is very much required in performance management. The performance management process should be flexible and should ensure the manager and manager are acting together. However, each one of these parties should have sufficient capability to design their own process within the overall framework for performance management. Then we have controlling, planning, controlling, feasibility, flexibility. Performance management aims at measuring manages against planned performance, that is targets, standards, or indicators. Then we have win-win philosophy. This is an important philosophy. Performance management provides a framework in which manager must support their managers to succeed and to win. Then we go for keys to high performance. Within 2 minutes, I will get back. Keys to high performance. Just now we have seen what are the keys to achieve high performance. Building organizational capability and successful implementation of high commitment in management practice is a key management responsible. High performance management practices require consistent leadership attention. Means there should be a consistent leadership attendance in order to achieve high performance in the organization. Most organizations, either by themselves or external help, are able to develop right business strategy without much difficulty, but they find it hard to implement it effectively. Hence, devoting attention, time, and energy to develop people may be far more cost effective and provide a greater competitive edge. Their basic principles are used by These are the three basic principles used by leaders to transform their organizations into high commitment models of management. These include building trust. Building trust in people is vital, and this could be possible by treating people with respect and dignity. In the first flowchart of our lecture, we have seen that the input variables, the processing and the output. The processing has a people. So there should be an integration or building trust with the people, either the employees manage you or the managers. There should be an integration. There should be a unity between all these people. Then only we can achieve a good performance. Sharing information with everyone and treating them. We have to share information with the employees or with the group or the team members. As human beings, will create a sense of trustworthiness among members of the organization. That's what building trust between the employees, managers, or the people in the group team. That trust should be developed. Then only we can achieve a high performance in the organization. Encouraging change. Leaders can encourage change among employees. These are the what we are studying now are the key concepts which are required in order to achieve high performance management. If high performance is there, then the goal is highly achieved. This can be achieved only if we have trust in the process end. In the process end, who are there? The team people are there, the groups are there, the employees are there, the team members are there. Unless until we have trust in the employees, or when we are encouraging the leaders should encourage the employees, or the managers should encourage the managees, group people. So in order to achieve high performance, this can be done only by the leader. Leaders can encourage change among employees and the managee by exposing themselves and their colleagues through alternative management models. So here again HRM comes into existence. So there should be an integration. HRM is also one of the integrating function. Just now we have seen 4 integrating functions which we required. One of the main integration function for achieving the high performance is the human resource management. Human resource management, if it is strong, then we can achieve a high performance management. Measuring what is important. Leaders need to realize that what gets measured. Robert Kaplan and David Morgan balanced scorecard approach. We are aware that in HRM and finance, we have studied about the scorecard approach in which financial measures are weighted against measures of customer satisfaction and attention. Even the feedback of the customers plays an important role. With this feedback, only the employees' attitudes and retention, new product and business development, and readiness for change. Change should be there. Until unless there is no change in the team or the products, the customer satisfaction one will not there. So the scorecard approach plays an important role in achieving a high performance in the management. Apart from this, the much more important is the organization's current condition in terms that enables our hinders its performance. Currently, knowledge and capability is a real key to success. And capability is the real key to success. This rests in people. So, paying serious attention to people's issues becomes over more important to build systems at their perspective. So, the customers play an important role again in the performance management. So, the feedback of the customers is very important. As of now, we have to change depending upon the outputs. Then the organizational performance. Performance is all these. We can say that organizational performance is nothing but the performance of all this. It's the end result of an activity. When we start an activity by taking an task, then the output is nothing but the performance. This is the meaning of the performance management. And whether that activity is hours of intensive practice before a concert or race, or whether it's carrying out job responsibilities as efficiently and effectively as possible. Performance is what results from the activity. Performance is nothing but it is the result of any activity. It might be a big activity or a small activity. Managers are concerned with organizational performance. The cumulated end results of all the organization's work, process, and activities is nothing but the organizational performance. It's a complex but important concept, and managers need to understand the factors that contribute to high organizational performance. After all, they don't want to manage their way to intercore performance. They want their organization's work units or work groups. That's what just now we have seen, that work groups to is very important to achieve high levels of performance. No matter what mission, strategies, or goals are being pursued, we are not concerned about the processing which is taking place internally, but we are concerned about the output. That is the output of the activity which we planned in the starting process of our performance management, that is planning, reviewing, and stake stock taking. So we are concerned about the stock taking performance, but we are not concerned about the reviews, what are going internally, what are the policies or what are the strategies we are changing. Why is measuring organizational performance is important? This is very important for measure the organizational performance because managers measures and control organizational performance because it leads to better asset management, to an increased ability to provide customer value and to improve measures of organizational knowledge. In addition, measures of organizational performance do have an impact of an organization's reputation, the value created by Mitchell Jordan and other assets of the Bulls. These are the main scientists who have named it after the performance management. So that's what managers say. High performance companies do. They manage the organizational assets in ways that exploit their value. Asset management is a process of acquiring, managing, reviewing, renewing, and disposing of assets as needed. So asset management is also plays an important role in the performance management. It's not just the top level managers who are concerned with asset management, managers at all organizational levels and all the group works areas manage their available assets. People also are the assets. Information is also an asset, equipment and so forth, by not physical, even by making decisions that they hope they lead to high levels of performance, because achieving high levels of organizational performance is important in both the short run and long run. Managers look access so that they look good on the key performance measures and used by both internal and external evaluators. Increased ability to provide customer value. Providing value to customer is important for organization. If customers aren't receiving something of value from their interaction with the organization, they will look elsewhere. Managers should monitor how well they providing customer value, and they are can do that when they measure performance. For example, an IBM's Industry Solutions Laboratories in New York with IBM research to come up with technological solution that next their unique and challenging needs. For instance, Safeway Stores PLC and the laboratories collaborate on a consumer application that gives top customers the ability to conveniently create and maintain personalized grocery shopping list and pre-order groceries using a portable handheld device. And these are some examples how the managers' inputs also depend upon the performance management. It was important for the labs manager to be able to measure how they will be solve customers problems. The customer problems has to be solved, then only we have good performance. Impact on organizational reputation. You know what, that your personal reputation is important in what others think of you. It influences whether they will ask you for advice, listen to what you have to say, or trust you to complete assessment task. Organizations strive to have good reputation as well. They want others, customers, suppliers, competitors, community, and so forth to think highly of them. The advantage of a strong correlation between an organizational financial performance and its reputation, which leads to the other. It's not always clear which comes first, but we do know it's difficulty to have one without the other. So there should be an interaction between all these. Without one, we can't achieve. In fact, a study of reputation of financial performance showed a strong correlation between good reputation and strong financial measures such as earnings growth and total return. Improved measures of organizational law. We know from our discussion, just now we have discussed the topics in learning organization. Organizational knowledge is recognized as a variable assets just like cash, equipment, or raw materials. Raw materials also plays an important role. What is organizational knowledge? It's knowledge that's created by means of collaborative information sharing and social interaction that lead to organizational members taking appropriate actions. The key to valuable organizational knowledge is this connection between information and action. Organizational employees must share what they know and use that knowledge to make changes in work practices, process, or products to achieve high levels of organizational performance. Measures of organizational performance. These are the three ways of measuring organizational performance. Generally, applied measures are productivity, organizational effectiveness, organizational ranking plays an important role. We can see that Peter F. Drucker, the well-known management guru, was one of the view that an organization employees need to see the connection between what they do and outcomes. He said the focus of the organization must be on the performance. The spirit of the organization is high performance standards for the group as well as for each individual. But before employees can see this connection and work toward achieving high performance, managers need to specify the performance outcomes that can be measured. The most effectively used organizational performance measures include organizational productivity, organizational effectiveness, and industry ranking. Productivity is different. So we will see in the next class what is productivity, what are the organizational effectiveness, and how we can achieve the final multiple organizational behavior. Thank you.